Welcome to the Wednesdays with Will podcast, where Will shares weird, wacky, and wonderful things that go through his mind on Wednesday.
Yo, graphics. What's good in the hood, homies? It's your boy Willie Will the Third, back at you with another hot and ready episode of Wednesdays with Will. And it's good to see you. Good to see you on this 4th of July, Independence Day. Amen. We're celebrating our independence. Well, you know, back in 1776, our forefathers. I say our forefathers. My forefathers were in Africa, so we was on the boat for real. We wasn't over here at that Independence Day. Low key, I shouldn't be celebrating Independence Day, because low key Independence Day is the start of my demise, because that was the beginning of America declaring independence from Britain, but then America was much worse with the slave trade. So independence is the only reason I'm here, but it's also the reason my forefathers personally were were kind of enslaved. So low key, I have a vendetta against Independence Day, man. I have a vendetta against Independence Day. What am I being independent of? All I'm getting is all these loud fireworks, man. I'm tired of these loud fireworks, man. I'm trying to go to bed and pop, pop, pop be happening. Shout out to the chat. I see Solomon Melton in the building. We're live on the Wednesdays with Will Instagram page right now. If you would like to join us, well, follow the Wednesdays with Will page, and you can be part of a live episode as we speak. Yeah, like I said, Independence Day today, and I don't want to see any more of y'all fireworks stories, okay? I say this every year, but every year I flip through Instagram, all I'm seeing, all these Instagram stories of fireworks, pop, pop, pop. We get the idea, man. Ain't no new fireworks. It's not exciting to see unless you're there. If I'm live in person on the fireworks, it's like, oh, all right, well, that's something. But not once have I ever been, you know what I want to see? Somebody else's fireworks. I'm scrolling through, like, look at that. And it's like, it always be like 2 minutes long too, of just pop, pop, pop. The only good thing about a fireworks show is the grand finale. We'd be all that anticipation hanging out there for about 30 seconds of pleasure. Kind of sounds like a couple on their wedding night. I might be something I'm looking forward to. Shout out to October 11th. Man, 100 days away. The days are counting down. The time is ticking. Get hitched up out here in these streets. About to have a Wednesdays with Will couple podcast. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Low key, I think my other half was trying to sneak into this room. I was like, what's going on here? Heard the door handle wriggling. It's wiggling right now as we speak. I think she's on the other side of the door just creeping in on the episode. Feel like she should just come in or come out, but that's just how it be sometimes out in these streets. Infiltrating. Can hear off camera, infiltrating the episode. Wednesdays with Will Takeover. Yeah, I love you too, man. Anyway, what was he gonna say, man? 4th of July. It's a good time. Where's my notes, man? Where's my notes? There it is. Daddy's Chicken Shack. That's all I have written down. I didn't have a smooth transition. Speaking of fireworks, I have no transition. I just went to Daddy's Chicken Shack the other day, and it was a good time. That's all I have to say about that. The name's kind of sus. Daddy's Chicken Shack, and there was only men working in there. It's like, what we got going on here? And then all their chicken sandwiches was named to fit that theme. They had the Big Daddy, the All-American Daddy. They had the Slavery Daddy. No, they didn't say that, but 1776 Daddy or something. But nah, it was a good time. Daddy seasoned up well. And I think I talked to Papa Daddy himself, owner. It was like, hey, is the chicken up to your liking? I know people like you like your chicken a particular way. I said people like you. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Daddy, chill with that comment. A little out of pocket, my friend. A little about out of pocket. Uh, but yeah. What else was going on recently? Anybody see the presidential debate? Yep, Trump and Biden squared off in the presidential debate, and all that I gathered from that is we need to see a golf match to determine the election. Election results determined by who can have the better golf score. Because they literally, y'all seen that clip? They just roasting each other's golf game. I'm like, what we doing, man? Y'all two grown men a step away from the funeral home. One of y'all much closer than the other. Other one is a step away from at least the senior living facilities. It's like, what we doing, man? And my thing is, no matter what side you're on, did anybody watch this debate and go, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going with the other candidate. I feel like not name one person saw that debate and went, you know what? That guy has good points. I feel like at this point, you either like him or you don't. You're going to vote or you're not. What did that debate prove? We didn't learn anything new. Biden still looked like he was about to pass out the whole time. And Trump just still be spouting out a lot of half-truths and false malarkey. And so it's like, what we doing, man? Let's just, I wish there was a rise of the third option, man. I'm calling for it right now. Rise of the third option. Y'all, everybody, especially if y'all people, I'll talk to some people who are like, man, I just ain't going to vote because I'm tired of this. Neither of these candidates are good. Well, if you're not going to vote third party. I'm calling for a rise of our third party candidates, okay? The previous two elections, I actually voted third party, believe it or not. And, see, America's trying to put us all in a box. You got to be for us or against us. You're conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. Why can't there be a third option? Well, there can be. Just write it in. Write in Jesus this time or something. I'm just saying, if you ain't going to vote anyway, I'm not saying sway away your vote. If you rock with a guy, whatever, that's to each his own. But if you just ain't going to vote anyway or you don't care, just vote third party because we need to up the third party recognition so that America will never change. We'll never get another option unless the people demand it. That's what 1776, man. I remember my history. The first couple elections, there was just one party. There weren't all these separate parties and stuff. It was just a bunch of people just ran and whoever got the most votes won. Why don't we do that now? Now we're just this wacky thing. We have to, the candidate of one party has to represent one party and we vote for them. It's like, nah, I want to vote for an individual based on their personal beliefs and their personal policies and stuff. Not just what the whole party as a whole aligns with. Because they be kind of finessing each other to like, people who don't even wholeheartedly believe one issue, just gonna rock with it because, well, this is what my party says, and I align more with them, and I'll never make it anywhere if I don't just sell out for this belief. And it's like, come on, man. So, hey, man, I got my Bible right here, man. Vote in Bible 2024. Yeah, man. Vote Bible. Let's get in this thing because we don't need another candidate. Ain't no candidate gonna get us anything. At the end of the day, the script's already been written. It's already been written. So we know what's coming. Let's get on with it. Anyway, enough of my political mumbo jumbo for today. But speaking of political mumbo jumbo, transgender runner Nikki Hiltz qualifies for the Paris Olympics. I just said I wasn't get political, and then that's the next story. That's wild, right? But anyway, Nikki Hiltz made history with the second fastest time ever in the American women's 1,500 meter, qualifying for Paris in 2024. And I know y'all are already saying, I knew it. It had to have been the women's. I knew it. And yeah, you're right. And here's the thing, man. She's not getting, like, it's just, I will give them credit the day a transgender guy wins something. Because that insinuates a girl is outrunning the guys or something like that. But it's like, come on, man. really we're making history? There's this whole shebang about this. She dedicated this to the LGBT community. This is bigger than just me, Hilt said. This is for the community. And it's like, fam, you low-key finessed and cheated the system. You were born biological male, and now you beat women in the 1500 meter. And we supposed to be like celebrating that? I just, and like, I'm not even that. This has nothing to do with any agenda stuff. You're supporting LGBT or that, this, that, the third. That's outside of that. It's just, can we not ignore genetics and be like, how is that, like, why are we impressed by that? Like, just, that's what I'm saying. If we were to flip it, here's what I would be impressed. I would be impressed if a transgender man, so a biological woman at birth, beat a bunch of men. If some transgender guy beat Usain Bolt time. Oh, I mean, I'd be pretty hyped. That's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, that's pretty wild out here in these streets. At least that has some merit to it. But the other way around, you got a woman or a man at birth beating women. Like, have you seen the WNBA? That's like some biological man in the W. Has that happened yet? I really can't tell, because I mean, honestly, that may not be a good argument. Because they all, just about Caitlin Clark, the only straight woman in the WNBA. So I feel sorry for Caitlin Clark. She might be she's probably the best now, or one of the best, top 5. I mean, I don't be watching. I couldn't name 5 other WNBA players, so I just kind of spouted that stat off with no merit. I'm not gonna lie. If you're a WNBA connoisseur, sorry. Your boy ain't know much. All I know is Caitlin Clark be balling out here, and she's a straight white female. So WNBA players don't really like her that much. That's all I know. Because I don't know if they're trying to gayify her or what. They're like, you aren't supposed to be straight. You ain't supposed to be a biological male. That's maybe that's why they're mad. They're mad she's a biological female and out balling them when half of them was dudes. Maybe that's the beef. I don't know. I have no merits to that. I feel like I'm getting canceled by the WNBA. WNBA is going wild right now. It's more ratings, they say, than ever before. And hey, all I know is I don't know anybody still who's been like, hey, you seen that Wings game the other day? You seen the Liberty game? You see, yeah, that girl went off. I'm proud of myself, first of all, for being able to name 2 WNBA teams right there off the top of the dome. That in itself, hopefully that uncancels me. I'm at least cultured to that fact that I can name a couple WNBA players. Or a number of WNBA teams. As far as players, yeah, I know Caitlin Clark. I know, is Brittany Griner still play? I don't know. I know she dunked that one time. I don't know. I can name 2 players and 2 teams. It's about the extent of my WNBA knowledge, okay? But, yeah. That's wild. But speaking of the WNBA, well, then speaking of the NBA, take off that W. How about Bronny James joining the Los Angeles Lakers, man? A lot of people are up in arms about that, man. It's like nepotism at its finest. They got this. He's only on the team, or he's only in the NBA even because he's LeBron's son. You bet your balls that's right. Basketballs, I'm saying. Of course. And why are y'all surprised? And why are y'all mad at that? For 2 reasons. One, doesn't that happen on any scope? If you're in corporate, how many times does the CEO's son becomes the CFO just because, he be the son, he been around a little bit, or he's the new guy off the block, he just came from college, didn't even graduate top of his class. You've had people in the company for years, but he's a boss's son, get elevated. How many times you see that in churches when the next, the pastor's gonna step down, I'm gonna hand it off to my son, it ain't gonna be nobody else. They keep it in the family. It's a dynasty. People been doing this for years. This is since the kingdoms back in the Bible days, for real. It's always been happening. Why are y'all surprised and mad by that? I mean, it's wouldn't you want to set your son up for the best success? So it's like, if you have that influence where you can do it, wouldn't you do it too? I'm looking at the camera because I bet you would. But here's the thing here. It's not like he was picked top, 10 overall. Heck, he wasn't even picked in the first round. So we rarely even see second rounders last in the NBA more than 5 years. They mainly just, most of the time, play out their contract, their draft, and then they off overseas somewhere. That's usually what happens. So the second round picks are always flyers anyway. They're just people you just kind of feel like could fit your team, you hope the best for. And so for the Lakers, Bronny's perfect. He's LeBron's son. So if he couldn't be in a better situation for himself as far as to be rise to success. I mean, yes, there's pressure of being there, but there's always been pressure. That doesn't change. He's always been LeBron's son, and he's always been kind of following in his shadows, so to speak. So now he just gets to be fully surrounded by the support of his dad and a team that will believe in him and push him because they want the second coming. I mean, gosh, PR and jersey sales and everybody, they would, trust me, they would love for him to be at least a halfway decent NBA player, and that just continues the LeBron legacy even farther. And most likely is also a way that if they keep him around, LeBron will stay in LA's office, and then they get to keep him around on that sense. And I think LeBron will always be good. I mean, take it or leave it. I know he has his things where people were like, he ran so-and-so out of, whatever, and all the coaches he doesn't run off. But at the end of the day, he does know how to pull talent together. He has that influence and all that stuff. And so it would be in the Lakers' best interest to have him around, even in the front office in a few years if Bronny's still there without him. And then he's kind of trying to get a team together, try to steal another ring, live vicariously through his son, low key. But I wouldn't be surprised here in the next couple of years though. But that boy LeBron carries his son to a title. He might play two minutes in the finals, but he gonna have a ring. And he might get a ring and then get up out of there, go overseas or something. I watch that low-key happen or something like that. That'd be kind of funny. But LeBron's out here, man. I don't blame Bronny. I don't blame LeBron for that. It's like, hey, nothing hurts. Nothing hurts with going for a second round, because you rarely see second rounders do much. You rarely do. You get more undrafted players that pop off out of nowhere most of the time. So yeah, that's just something. But anyway. Let's get up into the news, man. Let's get to the news, and we'll get up out of here, man. Where's my news, man? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go. So this says, if you could choose, this isn't really a news. This is the Q&A. I went out of order, low-key. I meant this to be the last thing, but it's showing now, so we're going to roll with it. If you had to choose breakfast, lunch, and dinner from one spot, what would it be? And now our options for you radio listeners, radio like anybody listens to radio, for you audio listeners on the podcast, shout out to Spotify, shout out to the Apple Podcasts and wherever else we are. I don't know. I'm on some random podcast distribution sites that just put it out anywhere. But anyway, so follow us on those platforms, if you will. And on YouTube, Wednesdays with Will Podcast, TikTok, Wednesdays with Will Pod. They didn't let me extend all the characters. It was a sad day. But anyway, back to the task at hand. If you could choose breakfast, lunch, and dinner from one spot, which chain would it be? And the options are number 1, Denny's. Number 2, IHOP. Number 3, Waffle House. And 4, the Cracker Barrel. So let's do this in a fun way. Let me do first off the block. And the first off the block that I'm kicking out is Denny's. Denny's can go home, man. When I'm looking at that, just naturally in my mood, like even right now, as I'm filming this, it's kind of the morning, breakfast time, and these are all definitely most known for breakfast, I would say. And so I ain't going to Denny's. I ain't checking for them. Nothing about Denny's just really makes me want to get up out of bed and get up over there. Now, one time I did go to Denny's. You know what my one random memory of Denny's is I had a defensive driving course there once. I had gotten a speeding ticket back in my early days, back when I was driving fast out here in these streets. And, oh, man, I was doing like 55 and a 30. I was just gunning it in my old Ford Focus, just trying to see how fast it would go. And I would do that like every time I went down this particular street, because there was never anybody on this street. And this one time I did it. I see a cop do that U-turn. He didn't have the lights on, but he did that U-turn. Whenever you see that cop hit that U-turn behind you, you're like, yeah, I already know. Sometimes when I see that cop hit the U-turn, I try to like duck out some side street real quick. I'm like, hey, the lights aren't on yet. So technically, I don't know he's going for me. But I see that U-turn and my heart drops. So like, And then it's like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, lights on. I don't know why. It's like, To a T. It's always about that same cadence for you cops. I need to talk to y'all cops. Why is it that cadence? I see you, I go, crap. In my heart, I'm like, I was speeding. He hit the UE. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, light on. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I pulled over, going 55 and a 30. Man, I had no excuse. You ever kind of try to think through an excuse in case the cop asks you, like, where you heading off to? And it's like, yeah, my sick child is at home, and I was just trying to bring some Robitussin to him. It's like, okay, well, try to think of excuses. I had nothing because I legitimately was not in a rush, not really going anywhere. I was coming home or going to the gym, but not in a rush for anything. I just sped for literally no reason, just for fun. And fortunately, he didn't even unfortunately / fortunately, he didn't even care. He didn't ask about where I was going or why I was going too fast, which was interesting to me because I feel like the cops, they normally ask that, like, hey, is there a reason you're going so fast? And to my cops out here, if you're a cop, man, send me a message. Let me know why y'all always ask. Why y'all so inquisitive of our comings and goings, huh? Why y'all always inquiring about our whereabouts like that? Like, where you off to? Where is there a reason you're going so fast? Maybe I just have a heavy foot, man. Why does it matter to you? But this particular cop, he ain't care none of that. He said, I don't care what you doing, why you going so fast, but what I do care about is I'm about to give you a citation. And I said, oh, tough day. Sad day. So did that walk of shame. Well, he walked back, and I was like, I know what's about to happen. Came back with the citation, and I was like 20 at this time. I was like, man, insurance about to skyrocket. So I said, let me get this up off my record. And so I looked up some defensive driving courses, and I found a comedy defensive driving course housed at a Denny's. I said, what? And so it was these like coming up or wannabe stand-up comedian dudes that would just like explain defensive driving in a comedic way. But low-key, he was just trying his material out. I think he was a failed stand-up comic trying to get in open mics and stuff, and he just found this side hustle. So most of him was just getting jokes off. He gave us a little bit of defensive driving knowledge. But honestly, by the end, he just gave us the answers to the test. He was just like, let's see, when approaching a stoplight, you should probably A, stop, B, plow through it, or C, slam on the, and it's like, what? Yeah, we should probably stop. And so kind of did that. And anyway, that was the defensive driving course. But it was at Denny's. So maybe that's what scarred me. It scarred me because every time I see Denny's, I think about that terrible defensive driving course I took there. And the best thing about that was the food, ironically. Not that their food is good. Their food's pretty mid there. But I got a free meal for attending the class. So that kind of hit different. I was like, let me get them eggs on here. Speaking of eggs, does anybody like sunny side up eggs? I never understood people who eat that. It's basically just yolk. Like, ain't about that life. But Denny's, the only thing going for them, though, they are 24 hours. As you see, open 24 hours. Most of these places are. Most IHOPs are. And I think most Waffle Houses are. So, honestly, Cracker Barrel might be the only one that does close, though. Because they gotta close during the night to keep their runaway slaves from escaping. Something like that. Well, we'll get to Cracker Barrel later. I'm getting ahead of myself. So next eliminated from this is probably Waffle House for me. And hey, I know it's a hood classic, so I know all the blacks are gonna cancel me for this one. I'm sorry, but I'm trying not to contract some sort of disease when I go eat. And it's one thing to get away for one meal. If this was just where would you go for breakfast? Waffle House might stay into the end. But it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm supposed to eat 3 meals at Waffle House and expect to not die? That's asking a lot. And, man, I be praying before meals. But, man, I feel like the Lord can only do so much when you're just disrespectfully going against his will by eating some roach-infested meals 3 times in a row. So that's the problem with the Waffle House. I mean, the floor is sticky. The roaches be crawling. And, yeah, it hits different. The seasoning on all that stuff coming together, all the joints, the owners be hitting in the back. The managers probably on cocaine. They don't know what they mixing into some of them eggs, for real. But their food do be nice. But breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's too much. Also, I don't even think Waffle House sells dinner like that. I think they're the one restaurant of these four that just sells breakfast, to the best of my knowledge. I don't think I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Oh, plus the fights. Shout out to my fiance Alex in the chat right now. Yeah, she said don't forget the flights for real. I mean the fights, cuz they do be fighting at Waffle House. They be squaring up. They be squaring up over them what is it called? The special something? Don't they have names? I'm sorry. The All-American special or something? I don't be frequenting Waffle House mainly because I want to actually live past 26. And so, as a result, I try to avoid them most of the time. But also, why do all Waffle Houses look old? There's a Waffle House built kind of in my neighborhood semi-recently, and it already look old. How do they build this place old? They don't know how to modernize their establishment. It looks like that's stuck in the 80s. Any future Waffle House looks like an old house. It's like, what we doing here? Even the logo, it's like, we playing Scrabble? What we doing? But anyway, we got two left now. We got two left of where I would eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And see, that's the big thing that I have to consider. The breakfast, lunch, and dinner for this last two because, man, I love IHOP's breakfast because they got all the delectable pancakes of all different assortments. You can do the chocolates, the strawberries. Hey, man, you have when I was a kid, they had that smiley face pancake. Oh, that was a good time. I used to love that as a little kid and stuff. And so it probably wins that breakfast. But again, remember, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So all around, as tough as it is for me to say, I got to go with the Cracker Barrel. I got to go with the Cracker Barrel, man. And part of me that I can say that confidently is because, well, I'm kind of with Cracker now. So so I can safely enter the Cracker Barrel. Is that can I say that? Yeah. My fiance is of the Wahite complexion. And so because of that, I can now access the Cracker Barrel scot-free. I don't get engulfed into the slave trade that Cracker Barrel is a part of, Because Cracker Barrel, whether if you never notice, you only see the black people busting the tables there, and they usually have an ankle bracelet on. And it's not because they're on house arrest or something. It's because Cracker Barrel done captured them into their system, and now they're a slave to the system of Cracker Barrel. Racism goes hard at Cracker Barrel. If you look at that man, look at the man on the chair. Y'all see that? Let me zoom in, man. You see that? The little slave owner on the rocking chair, man. It's blurry now, but he be out there watching all the runaway slaves. Like, what y'all doing out there? I don't know about that. And so that's why racism hits different at Cracker Barrel, but it hits good as far as how it tastes. That chicken, some of the best chicken I done ever had in my life from the Cracker Barrel. And that's why they win it overall, because their breakfast is good. Them pancakes smack. Them pancakes, I love them biscuits, the hash brown scramble. Lunch, I can get me like a chicken fried steak or something that be hitting good. Their fried chicken is good for dinner or something. Or if I want I got meatloaf there for real. It's all good. And they got the whole stove. So technically, if I'm there and want to get something else, a little knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone, they got the little stove back there. I can get all that stuff. I mean, they be watching me when I walk around. Like, what you doing, Negro up in here? Hey, this ain't for you. So yeah, that's how I feel about the Cracker Barrel, and also with little sentimental values. Me and my girl's first not date was at the Cracker Barrel, because it's the only place I felt safe at. Only time I feel safe at the Cracker Barrel is again with another cracker that has the barrel. So I was like, hey, we'll be a good time here. I'm safe. I'm in good hands here. They won't harm me, or maybe I'm more of a target because it's like, oh, he with the Wahite. I feel like okay, hold on. Side note on that. I feel like the whites aren't as I don't feel like they despise you as much for being with a white girl as the black people. It be your own people sometimes. The black women be like, oh, you with that white girl, huh? They always do the head nod too. You with that white girl, huh? It's like, why is the disrespect, man? You black girls weren't checking for me anyway. Y'all, not my cup of tea. I like it vanilla anyway. But I feel like the white people aren't they're like, oh, they tend to like the interracial, the integration, or as you could say. There, I guess times have changed. Back in the day, it would have been a hard no, and it's like we did a little switch. Back when you couldn't do it, they was like, nah, don't be doing this. And now that you can, they're like, oh, I welcome you. And now the blacks are like, nah, what you doing? But man, most of my friends, my fellow black friends are also with white women. So I'm like, what's going on out here in these streets? It's like a new movement going on. Anyway, that's that question. We got one more shot of news. I think we're up out of here on today. Oh, that's not it. I gotta scroll it over. There we go. So Netflix unveils a new popcorn line exclusively at Walmart. So man, y'all didn't know you can Netflix and chill with some popcorn now. So that's a new thing. They got the cult classic cheddar kettle and the spoon-worthy cinnamon kettle. What's up with these names? They got a hood rat in their PR department that definitely named these things. Cause that's something, man. But who's tapping into Netflix, man, for them popcorns? They're trying to get into a new market here because, Netflix has been out here for a while. If y'all don't know, Netflix is what put Blockbuster about a business because they started off doing mail-in DVDs. I don't know if you're like a real OG like me, you remember that. That's how they started off. You mail in a DVD and then you get it back and you didn't have to go to the store. Because this is like the start of people getting lazy, man. And like Amazon has completely lazy-fied everybody. We want the prime shipping one day. So my girl be getting same-day delivery. I'm like, what in the world? How we gotten so quick where we can't wait for a couple days or something? You gotta treasure that waiting. Good things come to those who wait. Hey man, I'm waiting 10 months to marry my girl. I'm letting it stew, saturate. Don't you think I'd love to join the wheelchair ministry? But no. We're pacing ourselves, okay? We are Netflix and popcorning right now. No chill. So that's the thing. But we go up to your Walmart and get this. Not sponsored. I don't know why but I just thought that was pretty wild. I know there's a few other popcorn brands out there that you wouldn't think. I remember before I showed there was a Krispy Kreme popcorn brand. I think there is a Buffalo Wild Wings popcorn. There's a lot of random popcorns out there, man. I think popcorn is a market people are trying to dab into. Because, I do like that. I do like me some of that popcorn. Especially this is, they got the kettle corn. What y'all like? Well, actually, both of these are kettle. Both of those are kettle. They need to hop into the... Hold on. So, technically, that's false advertisement. They're talking about new popcorn line. This is a kettle corn line. Okay, get it right. Kettle corn be a little sweet. Sometimes you want it more savory. That's not their market right now. You got to get a little sweet. But anyway, let me get this back up out of here. Get back to my regular graphic as we close. Amen. Everybody standing. Yep. But anyway, it's 4th of July. We have to get up out of here. We're about to go to some parties and stuff on today, and gotta act like I like seeing people. And so we're gonna have a good time. I have to act like I enjoy the fireworks. Wow, what the colors! Beautiful. Wow, love that. Yeah, I just gotta look through all the stories of fireworks on my phone. I'm gonna block y'all though, man. If I see a bunch of stories, if I see more than one story, you're blocked. I'm not trying to see all these fireworks. It's the same thing every year, and then I get PTSD every night during the 4th of July. Going to bed, I feel like there's a shootout happening outside. Of course, me born and raised in the streets of Oak Cliff. I'm hearing pop, 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 pop. I'm thinking there's a gangbang, some violence going on outside. It's just, it's the fireworks again. It's just the fireworks. But I thought it was going down, FBI raid or something out here in these streets. But anyway, so let me go ahead and get up out of here so I can get on with the things before that. But anyway, thank you for attending this special 4th of July episode of Wednesdays with Will. It's your boy Willie Will III. Back at you. We'll see you next Wednesday. Probably got another episode with that guy Nick again. He finally came through with the edits, man. That guy sold, man. I need you to step up your game, Nick. You got to get my editing up quicker. I'm about to edit this episode and post it same day, and it took you 3 weeks. Come on, man. We got to do better. No, I'm just playing with you. It's all good. It's all good. But we'll see you guys. Shout out to Brandon Kahn for the intro, Tyson Rush for the outro, and Wednesdays with Will. Deuces.